Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Saraswati Namastubhyam Parade Kamarupini Vidya Rambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Shri Matre Namaha. So in verse number 14, we saw that there were certain numbers that were given, totaling up to 360 numbers, and 360 numbers went up, and we could see some various meanings that were given to that. So now we will look at the 15th stanza. Now in the 15th stanza, slightly, see, one thing we have to understand. Unlike, say, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavad Gita is a sequential unfolding of certain knowledge, or Brahma Sutra. You cannot understand the second sutra unless you have understood the first sutra. So unless you know what is the meaning of Athato Brahma Jigyasa, then you cannot understand the second one. But, or suddenly if I start off with Vibhuti Yoga, and I say that of those who are shining, I am the sun, and suddenly, where is that sun coming from? Why is he talking of the sun? You have no context. But the Soundarya Lahari, it's a very unique creation. Each verse in itself is complete. Each verse in itself is complete, and yet it fits into the whole thing like a jigsaw puzzle. Recently, I was reminded of this when on Instagram, there was an advertisement of a jigsaw puzzle. The jigsaw puzzle is made of 1,000 pieces of animals, 1,000 animals. But when you can fit them together, they form the face of a lion. So each piece in itself is unique and it has its own beauty. But when you put it all together, it is not that it has to be sequential. Sometimes the giraffe goes in the middle, then the rabbit will come, the rabbit will go in some other corner, like that, right? So don't try to say, oh, last shloka he said this, so why is he saying something like this? So we have to understand very clearly that each piece has to be understood differently. Secondly, each piece, each verse has to be understood from our growing mentality towards her proximity. So as we are moving towards having an identification with the Supreme in the form of Devi, our understanding of these shlokas also will keep changing. So when you are a beginner and you are reading the Soundarya Lahari, and then you are deep into Manan about her presence, and you read the Soundarya Lahari again, you will find that the verses have changed their meanings. And that can only happen when you are doing Manan. So it is very important that each of these shlokas should have a lot of Manan being done simultaneously while we are moving ahead. So let us move on. शरज्योत्स्ना शुभ्रां शशियुतजटाजूटमुकुटां शरज्योत्स्ना शुभ्रां शशियुतजटाजूटमुकुटां शरज्योत्स्नां शुभ्रां शशियुतजटाजूटमुकुटां
In my book, it is Shuddham. Huh?
No, it is Shubhram.
Jyotsna.
Shubhram. Correct it, please.
Okay. Even in the one you have sent, it is, yeah.
So I have seen that Shuddham also in various other texts, but very clearly Bhaskaraya as well as somebody else, I'm forgetting the name of the commentator. Both of them have said that Shuddham is a incorrect derivation. So Sharajyotsna Shubhram Shashiyuta Jata Juta Mukutam Varastrasatrana Sfatika Gutika Pustakakaram Varastrasatrana Sfatika Gutika Pustakakaram. 2 lines together. Sharajyotsna Shubhram Shashiyuta Jata Juta Mukutam Varastrasatrana Sfatika Gutika Pustakakaram.
सर यहाँ पर भी आप ये घुटिका बोल रहे हैं, ये घटिका लिखा हुआ है.
हाँ, सो ये घुटिका होगा, घुटिका.
Yeah, mine is Ghutika. Yes. And you have given it Ghatika.
Ghatika, that will have to change as Ghutika. Okay. Change that please to Ghutika. Sakrin tvam natva kathamiva satam sannidadhate. So sakrin sannidadhate. Sakrin tvam natva kathamiva satam sannidadhate madhukshira.
No tvam in my book. Sorry. Sakrin natva it is saying. It is
no sakrin tvam. Though that is because that sandhi has been put together. It is sakrin tvam natva. Sakrin tvam natva kathamiva satam sannidadhate madhukshira draksham madhurina bhanitayah. So I hope everybody has bhanitayah. Kabhi it is phanitayah bhi aata hai. Phanitayah nahi hai, wo bhanitayah hai.
Okay.
Bha, not fa.
Okay.
Madhukshira draksha madhurina bhanitayah. Sakrin tvam natva kathamiva satam sannidadhate madhukshira draksha madhurina bhanitayah. Full verse. Sharajyotsna Shubhram Shashiyuta Jata Juta Mukutam Varastrasatrana Sfatika Gotikam Pustakakaram Sakrin tvam natva kathamiva satam sannidadhate madhukshira draksha madhurina bhanitayah. So now let us look at the meanings first, word meanings, and then I will try and see what we can understand. Sharat Jyotna Shubhram. Sharat means the Ritu, Sharat, right? Ritu, Sharat, autumn. So we know that there is a Navaratri which is celebrated very famously. Lalita ji, I think you have to put your on mute. Aapka background se pankha ka awaaz or something is coming. Yeah. So Sharat Jyotsna means moonlight, bright moonlight. Shubhram, right? Bright moonlight of see, Shuddham doesn't make sense over there. Pure moonlight. What is pure moonlight? Moonlight is moonlight, but it can be bright. Shubhram. So Shubhram Jyotsnam, bright brilliance of Sharad Jyotsna. Sharad Jyotsna, autumn ka moon. Sharad ka Chandra. Sharad Chandra ka bright moon. Right? Sashi Yuta Jata Juta Mukutam. Her hair is a jata. She has a jata in her hair. And Shashiyuta. Shashi means here moon, but not the full moon. Ashtami Chandra Vibhraja. You remember in Lalita Sahasranama, right? So Ashtami Chandra, the moon which is of a crescent shape. And she has that as her mukuta. Now who else has that? Her husband.
Shiva.
Right? Jata on his head, yes. And Ashtami Chandra, right?
Chandramauli,
Shashi Shekhar. We give so many names to that, right? So what is the Acharya saying? And why Sharat Chandra? Why not Grishma Chandra Shubhram? Why not Vasanta Chandra Shubhram? Because Sharat Chandra comes after the monsoon. Varsha Chandra ke baad hi Sharat Chandra. Varsha ke samay Chandrama dikhta nahi hai. Right? When the clouds have gone and suddenly the moon is again visible, it appears to be very bright. So all the poets have always described as Sharat Chandra. कभी भी हम लोग को आपको वसंत चंद्र किसी का नाम सुना है क्या? शरत चंद्र नाम होता है, right? Author in Bengal, Sharat Chandra, right? So, but you never heard somebody called Grishma Chandra. तो Grishma Chandra कोई नाम नहीं होता है. Sharat Chandra, why? Because the Sharat Chandra is supposed to be bright. Also, during Sharat, we are near the equinox, right? September 21st, around that time. So that time, because of the equinox also, the moon is glowing brighter. So we have Sharat Chandra Jyotsna, Sharat Jyotsna Shubhram. Then Shashiyuta Jatajuta Mukutam. Jatajuta Mukutam. So then he says, Vara is Abhaya Mudra. Vara is Abhaya Mudra. Vara is Varada Mudra. Vara is Varada Mudra. नीचे की ओर हाथ दिखाया हुआ Varada Mudra. Vara त्रास त्राण. ये है अभय मुद्रा. त्रास troubles, त्राण क्रॉस करने का. So to the mudra that shows you abhaya is called trasa trana. So he is describing the four hands of Devi. Vara, Varada mudra, trasa trana, abhaya mudra, gutika, sphatika gutika, a mala made out of crystal. Sphatik ki mala. Gutika, Japamala. Gutika is called Japamala. Pustaka Karam. Pustaka, in another hand, she is holding books. She is holding books. Pustaka Karam. Varastra Satrana Spatika Gutika Pustaka Karam. Sakrin, ek bar. Once. Sakrin, once. Tvam, you. Natva, doing namaskar. Natva. Natamastak. That is the word where it comes from in Hindi, right? So, Natva. Kathamiva. How can? Satam sannidhadate. So, he's saying that when I come near you and I put my head down in front of you, Madhu, Kshira, Draksha, Madhu, honey, Kshira, milk, Draksha, means raisins. Here it would mean juice of raisins, grape juice. Draksha, madhuri madhurina, sweetest of sweet things. Bhanitayaha, bolna shuru ho jata hai. Flowing of words is called bhanitanam. Bhanitayaha. So what is he saying? He is saying to see your beautiful form glowing like the autumn moon, with jata on your head, crowned with jata, which is decorated with an Ashtami Chandra, looking at your four hands, Abhaya Mudra, Varada Mudra, Pustaka, book in your hand, Spatika Mala in your hand. And he who bows down to this even once, he starts giving words, he starts speaking words which are sweeter than honey, milk, and grape juice mixed together. Now, first contradiction. Earlier, he had once said, if you remember, that all the other devatas have Abhay Mudra, Varada Mudra, but you don't do all that game. You only stand there and your feet are enough. Because your four hands, you are holding various things. In your four hands, you are not holding Abhay Mudra, Varada Mudra. You are holding the Bana, right? You are holding the Pasha, Ankusha, right? So all that you are holding. So you don't need to display all that Leela of Nataka, he said. You're right, in that word, you use the word Nataka. You don't do that Nataka of Abhay Mudra and Varada Mudra. Then Here suddenly he is saying Varatrasatrana. अरे ये क्या हो गया? पहले एक बार बोलते हो हाथ नहीं करती हो, फिर बोलते हो अगर करती हो. You have to understand that Devi is a dynamic force. If she is not showing her Abhay Mudra at that time, it is because we did not need it, because her feet were enough for us. But now we need it, because in a different form she has appeared. And what is this form? This form, just imagine that form. Close your eyes and imagine that form. Brilliantly glowing. Please imagine, close your eyes. Brilliantly glowing. Jata on her heads. Mukutam. Make the identity clear. Even the Ganga is flowing from the Jata. And as your eyes move down, three beautiful eyes. One eye on the forehead, half closed. Two eyes, bright, open. Small smile, mandahasa. She is wearing beautiful white clothes. Her upper hand on the right side is holding a japamala. And as your eyes go down, in the right side, her hand is showing the Varada Mudra. On the left side, her hand is holding Pustaka. And as you go down, she is showing the Abhayavan Mudra. Her feet are in Virasana. One foot down, one foot folded. She is sitting on a beautiful white lotus. What did you see? What is this Devi?
Saraswati.
Sorry?
Saraswati.
Saraswati.
Correct. She has changed her form. She has become Saraswati. This particular shloka and the next two shlokas, they are called Saraswatya Prayogaha. They are called Saraswatya Prayogaha. Right? Another form, actually, if you see very deeply, you will see that even Bala has the same form. Bala Tripura Sundari ka bhi same form hai. Because Bala is also a teacher. She starts playing, and in her play, she teaches you. So that is the first, very interesting, isn't it? Such a beautiful form we have seen in front of her, given by the Acharya. But there are some hidden meanings. See, Acharya is not very simple to understand. Sometimes he lays down very deep meanings. Madhu, Kshira, Draksha, Madhuri, Madhurina here also means something very, very important. See, when a prana pratishtha is done, when the prana pratishtha of a murti is done, that time, immediately, Tri Madhuram is offered as a offering. Immediately. Prana pratishtha kale Tri Madhuram naivedyam naivedayami. Right? Tri Madhuram. Now, what is the Tri Madhuram that is generally offered? Madhu, Kshira, Draksha. Which means the process of creation is being described over here. Prana pratishtha. For what? For this entire prapancham. For this entire prapancham, she does not create it in the form of Lalita. She creates it through nada, through sound. Because that sound is the first creation, isn't it? Sound is the first material creation. Space. What created space? Nada created space. What is the Mahatattva? Nada. Shabda. Let us look at Lalita Sahasranam. If you look at verse number 81, Para pratyakchiti rupa pashyanti paradevata madhyama vaikhari rupa bhaktamana sahamsika. Right? Para means that which is beyond all sound. Pratyakchiti rupa. First level consciousness. Pratyakchiti rupa. Then pashyanti. The first sound, pashyanti sound. Then second sound, madhyama. Third sound, vaikhari. That is how creation came into being. वैखरी कहाँ है? वैखरी जब मैं आपसे बात कर रहा हूं, आप जो सुन रहे हैं, ये वैखरी है. पहले एक परा अवस्था में मैं कॉन्शियसनेस हूं, मैं हूं, फिर मैं कॉन्शियस हूं. उसके बाद मुझे अंदर में एक थॉट आता है, पश्यंती. I am able to learn the words to express that thought, madhyama, and then my tongue expresses that thought, vaikhari. when Vaikhari happens, what happens? Immediately, Srishti comes into being and she takes the form of the Hamsika in our own hearts. Bhakta Manasa Hamsika. See, Lalita Sahasranam repeats exactly what Soundarya Lahari is also saying, that she is doing the creation. Here, at a microcosmic level, at an individual level, she has given the power to become for us of imagination, of poetry, of sweet words, of being able to talk in the proper way. But at a macrocosmic level, she is creating. She is the creatrix. She is the one who is making this entire universe happen through Nada. So who is that person who has bowed down in front of her for doing all this creation? Brahma. Brahma का wife है ना सरस्वती. तो ब्रह्मा जब तक सरस्वती के सामने नतमस्तक नहीं होता है, तब तक उसके पास शब्द नहीं आता है, और शब्द जब तक नहीं आता है, तब तक वो सृष्टि कैसे करेगा? So at a macrocosmic level, he has shown us the form of Saraswati and shown that Brahma sakrin tva natva kathamiva vatsatam sannidadate. एक बार उसके सामने नतमस्तक होने पर ब्रह्मा अपने 4 माथा लेकर ईगो से बैठा हुआ है, तो मैं कर लूंगा, कुछ नहीं होगा, कुछ नहीं होगा. Yes, Lalita ji.
Katham eva is katham eva. That is, it is said like that, is it?
Correct.
It is said like that.
हाँ. Kadachit. Katha means kadachit. Katha means kadachit.
Kadachit. And
the commentary. Eva means certainly. Eva here. Eva means certainly.
Okay, and Satam?
Satam means Kavishwaranam. Whoever who is somebody who is in touch with reality. Kavi, we have seen earlier, people with imagination. Here, as I said, it is Brahma, right? Kavishwaranam, Brahma. We have seen earlier also. He has used the word Kavi for Brahma and Indra and so on and so forth.
And Sannidadate is nearby, is it?
Sannidhanam prapyanunviti. Sannidhanam prapnuviti. Sannidhanam prapnuviti iti sannidadate.
Okay. And Dhurinam is what? Dhurinaha is what?
No, Madhurinaha. Madhuri means sweeter than
Madhurinaha.
So sweeter than that which is sweetest. Correct. Madhura. Madhur se madhuri. Madhurina means sweeter than.
That's why you said that time sweetest of sweet. Okay.
Sweetest.
Okay. And
sweetest Bhanitayaha? Bhanitayaha means to be able to speak.
Okay. Thank you.
Vag vaikharya iti bhanitayaha. Vag vaikharya ka matlab bolna. Right? Vak means shabda, vaikharya vikharna. So Vag vaikharya iti bhanitayaha. So this is how he explains the 15th verse, right? So let us see the verse once more. Tarajyotsna shubhram shashiyukta jata jhuta mukutam varastra satrana svatika gutika pustakataram sakrintva natva kathamiva satam sannidadate madhukshira draksham madhurina bhanitayaha. So with this beautiful form of Saraswati Bala, he has shown us that creation is in her hands, and at the same time protection is also in her hands. What does the mala signify? The mala signifies the concentration, repetition, right? It signifies the varnas. 51 beads will be there in a Spatika mala. The 51 beads signify the 51 aksharas. Pustaka obviously signifies the scriptural knowledge that is put together.
It's not 54.
So that is what has happened because of the popular mala. See, when you have a shorter mala, it will always be 51, never 54. That is the people use that 54 ki wo japmala ka adha. That's not how a japamala is made. A japamala is made either with 108 or with 51 or 31, not 26 or 27. All that is a counting technique. Then it is not a japamala. It is a counting methodology. Right? You can use a clicker also. हाथ में clicker pen के tuck, 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 tuck. I'm okay with that. No problem. Except that your hands, you're distracted with your hands and you're looking at it. कितना हुआ? So anyway, we'll get into japamalas later.
What is it about the crystal beads? What is it about the crystal beads?
So what does crystal do? What is the basic nature of crystal?
Shine.
Spatika dharma.
Reflection.
Reflect.
Whatever
Correct. Reflection. So therefore, Svatika Mala, it is reflecting what? Her para, Pratyak Chiti Rupa. Her para, her Pratyak Chiti Rupa is reflected through Vaikhari from the Mala of Spatika.
Number?
So there is an interesting
51 number.
Sorry, 51 varnas in the Sanskrit language. Right? Okay. There is a very interesting story about Spatika. Bhishma, so Yudhishthira asks, Kimekam daivatam loke kimva pekam parayanam stuvantakam kamarchanta prapnu yurmanava shubham ko dharma sarva dharmanam bhavata paramomata kim japan muchyate jantur janma samsara bandhanat. किस धर्म को फॉलो करने से मैं जंतुओं का जन्म से संसार से मोक्ष प्राप्त होता है. So he is asking this in a common group where Krishna is standing, Bhishma is lying down, and he has asked this question to Bhishma. तो Bhishma कृष्ण की ओर देखकर बोलते हैं, बोल दो, give the answer. Krishna shakes his head and says, I cannot praise myself. You tell. So then Bhishma recites, right? Vishvam Vishnurva Shatkaro Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu. Recites the full Vishnu Sahasranam. Now, very interesting. Sri Kanchi Mahapariva asked this question, and I'm repeating that question for you. So all of them were standing over there when for the first time, Lalita ji, your audio. So the first time the Vishnu Sahasranam was recited. So how was it remembered? एक बार बोलने से सबको याद हो गया क्या? How was it remembered? Who remembered it? What is the answer? Anybody knows? So nobody obviously knew when Kanchi Mahapariva asked this question. Kanchi Mahapariva said that the answer is Sahadev had a Spatika Mala on his neck. And Bhishma himself said, you take off that Spatika Mala and use it to remember, because it is already held all the sound and it will reflect it back. Pure Spatika has the nature of holding sound and reflecting. So that is how people then remembered, Acha, usne bola tha. Shri Bhishma Uvacha, Deva Deva, Mahadeva, Deve. क्या बोल रहा हूं मैं? I'm reciting Lakshmi Ashtotram. So problem of sitting with her too much time. So anyway, so Sri Bhishma Uvacha is from there with Lalita, from where the Vishnu Sahasranam starts. And it was recited only once, with Bhishma lying down on the bed of arrows, and suddenly from there we get it because of the Spatika. Similarly, Spatika here is a reflection of the para sound that she is creating. That para sound becomes Pratyakchiti Rupa, then becomes Pashyanti, then becomes Madhyama, and comes out as Vaikhari from her Mala. That Vaikhari reaches us in the form of her para Pratyakchiti Rupa Pashyanti. It becomes Vaikhari in my tongue, and I become Madhuri madhurina bhanitayaha. Sweeter than the sweetest words are able to come. बच्चों को जब words सिखाते हैं, you want the strength of words to come. Who is the best communicator? Who is to which devata is supposed to be prayed?
महादेव का वो होता है ना, नहीं सरस्वती normally.
Saraswati,
but,
Vidyarangam.
Saraswati, but they say that no, yam one, what's that?
No.
No.
If you want your child to become expert in communication, then the person to be prayed is Manojavam Marutulya Vegam Jitendriyam Buddhimatam Varishtam Vatatmajam Vanarayutha Mukyam Sri Ramadutam
Sharanam.
बुद्धिर बलम यशोधैर्यम, उसमें क्या बोलते हैं? वाक पटुत्वम.
Yes.
वाक पटुत्वम, राइट? बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग है, राइट? Why is Hanuman? You pray to Hanuman for communication skills, but where do you pray for intuition? Where do you pray for intelligence? Then you pray to Saraswati. So Saraswati is the madhyama tak Saraswati है. वैखरी में वो हनुमान बन जाता है. Activity can come only from something that has the power to move. Saraswati does not move. She is sthira. She is knowledge. But knowledge becomes communication in the form of Hanuman, Anjaneya. Right? चलिए, next is अपना क्या बोलते हैं, अन्नपूर्णा स्तोत्रम. चंद्रार्कानलकोटि सदृशा चंद्रांशु बिंबाधरी. चंद्रार्कानलकोटि सदृशा चंद्रांशु बिंबाधरी. चंद्रार्काग्नि समान कुंडलधरी. चंद्रार्कवर्णेश्वरी. चंद्रार्काग्नि समान कुंडलधरी. चंद्रार्कवर्णेश्वरी. माला पुस्तक पाश सांकुशधरी. काशीपुराधीश्वरी. माला पुस्तक पाश सांकुशधरी. काशीपुराधीश्वरी. भिक्षाम देहि कृपावलंबन करी. माता अन्नपूर्णेश्वरी.
Also Mala, Pustaka, Pasha, Angusha.
Correct. I was going to come to that, but first let us see Chandra. So this is a shloka where Devi is compared with the three sources of light. Chandra, Arka means sun, Anala or Agni. So here he says Chandrarkanala Koti Sadrisha. So she is millions, crores and crores of sun, moon and Agni put together. That is the glow of Devi. Chandramshu Bimbadhari. Despite the fact that she glows like that, when she reflects that light onto us, she reflects it very gently. Chandra Amshu means rays, right? Name of Surya is Amshuman. Amshuman means he who has rays. So Chandramshu Bimbadhari. So she projects rays which are very gentle. So she has the power to even burn up some millions of worlds just by a simple glance, because that is how she glows. But when she is the mother and she is feeding her children as Annapurna, she reflects this light in a very gentle, like the moonlight. Chandramshu Bimbadhari. Her kundala, Chandrarka Agni Samana Kundaladhari. Kundala means earrings. Chandrarka Agni Samana Kundaladhari. Chandrarka Varneshwari. Her color is of sun and moon, the brilliance of sun and moon put together. Mala Pustaka Pasha Sankushadhari. Pasha, Ankusha, Lalita, Mala, Pustaka, Saraswati. She is holding all four, right? And yet she is Annapurneshwari, Kashipuradhishwari. So as we progress closer and closer, see what happened is once Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa, he was decorating the idol at Dakshineshwar, and he put the sacred thread. So somebody over there, he observed and he said, she is a woman. Why are you putting sacred thread on her? So Thakur turned and said, Acha, you have identified that she is a woman. I have still decided not been able to identify whether she is a woman or a man. To be the infinite, as we go towards that infinite, see, even a simple thing like a small gemstone, you put it in the sunlight and you turn it, you will see so many colors. If you then take the infinite, and as you are approaching it, then obviously multiple colors, multiple flavors, multiple, all our senses will be inundated with, flooded with all these, the impressions that she will create. So here is a beautiful Chandrarka Agni Samana Kundala Dhari, right? Kundala. Akhilandeshwari at Tiruvanai Kaval in Trichy, Tiruchirappalli के पंचभूत लिंग के अंदर में जल लिंग, अपह लिंग माना जाता है. So अपह का लिंग. So you all know the story of how the 5 bhuta lingas came. So Tarakasur के साथ Kartikeya was fighting. Tarakasur and Kartikeya was fighting. Kartikeya was born just to kill Tarakasur, right? His primary duty was to kill Tarakasur. Because Tarakasur had taken a vow that only Shiva's son can kill. At that time, Shiva was in sannyasa. Shiva was in meditation because Sati had died. So he felt that Shiva will never come back from this. So Shiva's son only can kill. He did not know that divine flame is always going to be against him. So therefore, Parvati was born, Parvati got married, and then Skanda was born. So Skanda ka janma ho gaya, Kartikeya ka janma ho gaya. And Kartikeya has gone to fight with Tarakasur. Now, obviously, Kartikeya is stronger. So he uses all the weapons. Every time he throws some weapon, Tarakasur gets hurt, but comes back. He never is killed. So down, Kartikeya comes to his mother and says, what is happening? I am using all my powers and yet he is not dying. So his mother smiled and said, he is holding your father's Atmalinga on his chest. On his chest, he is holding your father's Atmalinga. And as long as that Atmalinga is there, you cannot kill him. How can I kill him? How can I break my father's Atmalinga? You cannot break it. I can break it because I and your father are the same. Here, take my weapon, take my Trishula. Right? So the function of Taipusam in the south is the day on which he was given the weapon by Devi. Now he threw the weapon, he threw the spear. When he threw the spear, it went straight to the Atmalinga and it broke the Atmalinga. The Atmalinga broke in 5 pieces and it fell on the earth. Where it fell, it created 5 Shivalingas. These 5 Shivalingas symbolize the 5 elements. So Kanchipuram, the earth lingam. Kalahasti is the Vayu lingam. Chidambaram is the Akasha lingam. The Tiruvannamalai is the Agni lingam. And Tiruvanai Kaval in Trichy is called the Apah lingam or Jala lingam. So, yeah, Jala lingam, and wherever this lingam has come, one Devi also has been established. So the name of Devi in Tiruvanai Kaval is Akhilandeshwari. And Akhilandeshwari was so powerful that the moment the door was opened in the morning for the puja, the pent-up power inside would burn the pujari and he would fall down. So when Shankaracharya was passing by, he was told this problem. So he concentrated this power and he made 2 earrings in the form of Sri Chakras. And they were fixed to the Murti's ears. And that reduced the intensity of power in the Murti. So her Kundala, Chandrarka Agni Samana Kundala Dhari, they are Sri Chakras. So that is the beauty of this particular shloka. So that is the next shloka. After this, I think we have only 1 shloka left. And then we have the Falashruti. So that is the Annapurna Stotram. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.